imminent destruction off the coast of Florida. I personally am also the chairman of the board of the Lower Manhattan Historical Association, which has undertaken a number of civic activities, including on this Saturday, Evacuation Day, the construction of the Mill Street Synagogue, the Lower Manhattan July 4th Parade, and the naming of Francis Perkins Way on West 46th Street. As I see it, saving the SS United States is the most important historic economic development project on which I have worked in the 10 years since the LMHA was founded, and one of the most important economic development potential projects facing the city of New York, although I emphasize the word potential. The SS United States, whose home port was New York City, was the largest and most important ocean liner ever built in the United States, and to this day holds the international speed record for sea voyages from New York to London. It was considered when it was built in the 1950s the pride of American engineering for speed, luxury, and safety. After 28 years in Philadelphia, it was in February of this year moved by its owner, which is now Okaloosa County, to a shipyard in Mobile, Alabama, to be prepared for its final destination as an artificial reef off the coast of Florida. This, as I see it, is a great disaster to all Americans, and particularly to the city of New York. It is our belief that if renovated and returned to the city of New York, it would be a fantastic tourist attraction, cultural others, above water. We note that ocean liners such as the Queen Mary in Los Angeles and the Rotterdam in the Netherlands have successfully been repurchased with great benefit to the communities where they are docked. We believe that if we could pull off saving the SS United States and bringing it to New York, this would create thousands of jobs, thousands of visitors, and thousands of jobs annually, and create one of Brooklyn's major tourist attractions, reviving the once great Brooklyn waterfront. Since Councilwoman Brewer first introduced this resolution in October of 2024, our last-ditch effort to save the ship, though derided by some, has gained stunning support. More than 20,000 people have signed petitions put forth by us and other groups urging Okaloosa County to abandon its plan to sink the ship, or alternatively to have the federal government take control of the ship and keep it afloat. Now I have with me today a number of members of our group, including Dan McSweeney to my right, who was previously a leader of the Conservancy that owned the ship and sold it to Okaloosa County. John Quadrosi, the owner of the Gowanus Pier, is here in the audience. I also have David DiGregorio, our education director, who has done educational programs from Tenafly High School and elsewhere about the ship. And speaking for himself is law professor James Maloney, a leading maritime law expert at SUNY Maritime, who has been helping us on the legal side. At this point, we believe it is critical to our effort that New York City Council pass Councilwoman Brewer's Resolution 649 supporting the effort to purge the ship. We do not believe it is too late because the ship is still around. I believe this could be one of the most historic preservation actions facing the city of New York in this early 20th century. It was just 200 years ago this month that the city and state completed the construction of the Erie Canal, which was one of the most important public works projects in American history. It was more than 140 years ago when the Statue of Liberty was about to be sent back to France because wealthy New Yorkers refused to support the construction of the base. The city council supported newspaperman Joseph Pulitzer call for 100,000 ordinary working class New Yorkers to contribute as little as one penny. And now the statue sits in the harbor. I urge you to follow these precedents, follow this tradition, and pass this very important resolution that Councilwoman Brewer has put forth. I'm going to turn this over back to Dan McSweeney, who's the has a lot more history with this, since he was one of the leaders of the Conservancy, which owned the ship until it was sold to Okaloosa County in last year. Dan?
Great. Thank you, Jim. Chair Botcher, other council members, and staff, my name is Dan McSweeney. I want to sincerely thank you for making time to hear our testimony today in support of a great American and New York icon. I also want to thank Councilmember Gail Brewer for introducing Resolution 649. I know Gail for many years of veterans and community advocacy, and if there's a good cause to support, no matter how unusual or ambitious, Gail will be there. We appreciate that very much, Gail. I'm going to go off script and just cut to the chase. There are 3 reasons that the council should adopt Resolution 649. The first is New York City has always punched way, way above its weight in terms of cultural contexts, policy, economic development, and other examples. This ship offers us an opportunity to do something striking, memorable, historic, and impactful. It will create jobs. We have a site for the ship in Brooklyn. It will revitalize our efforts to re-energize the New York waterfront, and it will provide so many other cultural opportunities. The second reason is that although New York is proud of its traditions, we have always been a city of innovation. And for us to take this old ship and repurpose it in an innovative way, which could include all kinds of things from energy generation to job creation, hospitality, hotel, etc., would show that New York still has the ability to innovate on a grand scale. Thirdly, and perhaps most importantly at this time, we are a country that is unfortunately divided. And this ship, with the name United States, represents a symbol of unity for New Yorkers and from Americans from all walks of life. I'm a New Yorker because my father came to this city to work aboard this ship. He met my mother from San Juan in his preparations to sail one day, and that's just one of thousands of stories that surround this vessel. Stories of New York and stories across America. It is very notable that during a time that our country was shamefully segregated in the 1950s and 60s, this ship was a proud symbol of integration. It had an integrated crew and integrated passenger lists. So I believe that Resolution 649, although we are in a Hail Mary moment, would send the message that New York City does retain the ability to send a strong message about things that we should do in the 21st century, and this is a great example of it. Thank you so much for your time.
You're. No, no, David ignore.
Button. Hello. Okay. Hello. Let me say first that I have immense gratitude for Councilwoman Brewer and Chair Botcher and all the city council members involved for putting forth this action to save the ship and for recognizing the cultural aspects of maritime history and the importance of it. My name is Eric Breen. I'm a marine engineer, went to the U.S. Marine Academy, and have a 40-plus year career working in and around New York Harbor in a commercial ship and workboat repair sector. I'd like to be a voice for that commercial marine sector with regard to all within it who want the ship preserved in the room. I'm listening to the rest of the camp, going off script a little bit, listening to the rest of the panel here. It's just absolutely amazing. In the room also with me is Alex Gomez, sitting in the back. He's a member of that New York Maritime Commercial Marine Repair Community. He owns GMD Shipyard and its large graving docks. Alex was also instrumental and was directly involved in the prepping of the Intrepid when she came into New York. So we have, complete industry support to take possession of the ship and actually repair it. Again, like the other gentleman said, the impact on the workforce would be absolutely incredible. It's in New York. There can't be any more passion that I'm speaking for my industry in this. With its stacks and masts now removed, it can clear the Brooklyn Bridge and get into the shipyard. So there's a place for it to go when it gets here. Get into the shipyard for its conversion and retrofitting. I'd also like to identify a clear option, current and uniquely funded, a situation whereby the ship can be evaluated and directly serve New York City and New York Harbor area tourism and assist the commercial marine industry and clearly support New York City's growing ferry system growth and its popularity. New York City's growing ferry system growth and its popularity. The forward-thinking Elizabeth, New Jersey Chamber of Commerce and tourism groups are in full support of the idea of using the ship as a ferry terminal on Elizabeth's waterfront and helped initiate this idea. Using the ship as a shoreside transit hub, shopping, hotel, and entertainment venue with a ferry terminal on its waterline level would provide a long-term business case to support the ship for the longer term and provide significant traffic to and from it to be fully enjoyed by the public and many international travelers coming from an international airport. Anyone who has ever visited the very vibrant San Francisco ferry terminal and its shops and restaurants it serves as a transit hub would be able to see these real possibilities and viability of this unique idea. A funded feasibility study backed by an awarded $5 million US DOT RAISE grant is now getting underway in Elizabeth, and utilization of the ship in this manner would also provide a needed alternative to a waterfront property encumbrance issue that so far has hampered all progress from developing important ferry services to and from Newark Airport. This would all need to be explored through, I'm a marine engineer, okay? So it's out of my bailiwick, but this would all need to be explored through official channels, but I find myself in the very unique position of knowing both the shipyard availability, having the industry connections, and knowing of the potential Elizabeth Ferry Terminal opportunity and its funding. And I also have a passion for maritime history. Using this funded feasibility study to explore this use for the ship would further make use of existing awarded federal dollars. A defined goal should be to have the Department of the Interior's National Park Service take ownership of the ship, bring it back to New York Harbor for next July's National Quincentennial Celebration. That was the money sentence. It can begin the conversion process using New York's workforce, creating many, many jobs, and be properly preserved as a namesake for the U.S. maritime industry. To happen, this will need the City of Elizabeth's mayor, the administration there, agencies like the Port Authority and others in both New York and New Jersey to have an open mind, cooperate, embrace industry efforts, and consider such innovation and move fast. I'm thankful to the city's council efforts to save the ship, as all in our industry would like to. The timing may also be right with recent significant federal initiatives to revitalize the U.S. shipyard and shipyard industry that also apply to New York shipyards. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to provide these ideas and be able to express our complete industry support for saving the ship. We hope that they can be considered as the council presents this to the current administration and passes this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. I feel a little bit like this is Shark Tank, but I would
No
like
pun
to.
intended.
But I would like to thank Chair Eric Bottcher and also Gail Brewer very much for bringing this forward. I would also like to quote Eric Bottcher, if I may, that art is the antidote. The SS United States is a work of art. It is a oneness of power and grace. It shows us how to put those opposites together, and it is a work of, it is a beauty that can attract artists. It can attract all kinds of people, young and old, in New York City, where we can all enjoy and be on her decks rather than having just a few see her rotting, basically, on the bottom of the Gulf of Mexico, which is what we really do not want to see. And I would take this opportunity, and I think I'll look straight into the camera, to ask the President of the United States to please consider saving this national treasure, this mid-century example of power and art. America at its finest in the mid-century. Let's reach those heights again, and let's have our president do something for all people that we can all agree on. President Trump, please consider taking possession of this ship, bringing it back to its home port in New York City, where all can enjoy. And let's start, this is a blank slate, not like the Queen Mary. Let's start to build and envision what we would like to see inside and what we would like the SS United States to stand for. Thank you so very much. And I pass the microphone to a young gentleman, an 11th grader. His name is James.
Hello, my name is James Geraci. First off, I want to thank the council for allowing me to speak today and the New York Coalition for hosting me. Now, like many of my fellow citizens, I am a firm supporter of saving the SS United States for display in New York City. Like the nearby Intrepid Museum or the RMS Queen Mary in Long Beach, should make an excellent attraction to our city, given how the ship is now stripped of any remaining hazardous materials and the inside is virtually a blank canvas, makes it incredibly conducive to redevelopment. The proposed location of the ship, GBX Gowanus Bay Terminal, would greatly benefit the surrounding area. I recently visited Red Hook, and the area unfortunately looked rather run down. A large world-class attraction such as the SS United States would greatly benefit the surrounding area. Additionally, it would also benefit the terminal itself, as it has sat derelict for decades. Once the area is dredged to accommodate the liner, it will make a fine site for the area and the city as a whole. The redevelopment of the ship, as stated by the coalition, could be done in phases over a set period of time. Given how port fees will not be an issue like they were at Pier 82, the restoration funds could be focused exclusively on the ship. Now, it goes without saying that the SS United States is a very historically significant vessel, being the largest and final ocean liner built in the United States and arguably the best looking, and of course now the last surviving, and was the winner of the Blue Riband, a title it still holds today. The vessel was an engineering marvel, even now, and its loss would be a devastating blow to maritime preservation. Given how the 250th anniversary of our nation's founding is coming up, and the SS United States, the former flagship of America, and the record-breaking vessel that carries the name of our country, is now stripped down of all hazardous materials, now is the perfect time to restore the ship as a monument to our country and to celebrate the 250th anniversary of our nation's founding. The fact the ship has lived to see a third of our nation's history is an equally historic feat and will make it all the more fitting for restoration for our nation's birthday. I do hope my words today will be considered by the council and you choose to pass Resolution 0649 and save America's flagship so it may become a world-class tourist destination and a monument to our nation's history. With great thanks, James Geraci. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is James Maloney. I am an attorney and I perform legal services for the New York Coalition. I'm not one of its directors or officers, and so I'm speaking here today in my personal capacity only in support of Resolution 649. I'm also a graduate of SUNY Maritime College at Fort Schuyler in the Bronx, and for the past 10 years I teach there, Admiralty and International Law. And again, I'm speaking here today not as a member of the college's faculty, but on my own. I want to tell this committee primarily about a hope that I've had for that ship for about a year now, I guess, and that is that the ship be taken for public use by the federal sovereign, the people of the United States, and returned here to its home port, New York, to serve as a very important component of the Shipbuilding and Harbor Infrastructure for Prosperity and Security for America Act, long title, better known as the Ships for America Act, which is currently pending before Congress. I'm sure you're all aware of that pending legislation. It would revitalize United States shipbuilding and commercial maritime industries if it's passed, and I hope it will be. So how does bringing the SS United States back to New York relate to the Ships for America Act? It's really quite simple. If you're going to revitalize American shipbuilding, you need to grow the next generation of naval architects and marine engineers. If the United States were to be taken for public use, refurbished, brought back here, it would be quite a useful program to host high school students for competitive federally funded internships where they'd live aboard, they'd see firsthand this work of art, this masterpiece of American naval architecture, and while they're here, they'd visit the 4 schools we have right in the area. My own alma mater, SUNY Maritime College, this gentleman's alma mater, the United States Merchant Marine Academy at Kings Point, Webb Institute of Naval Architecture, and Stevens Institute of Technology in Hoboken. The Ships for America Act will certainly have an education budget. And so by seeking out talented people nationwide, we'd be recruiting from a pool of future naval architects and marine engineers from all over the country, not just the coastal states. So they may not have even thought about this as a career. But and it would be increasing the possibilities of excellence in our future shipbuilding capacities for generations to come. And this is not an alternative to all the other ideas you've heard, making it a ferry terminal or using it as a landmark, a national landmark, maritime center. In fact, the internship program begin right away as this work is going on, and those very students would benefit from seeing it and participating in it. So I want to close with one thought. The Iroquois Confederation, properly known as the Haudenosaunee Confederation, they had a leadership concept. In English, it's now called the seventh generation principle. The idea is that any decisions we make today should bring a benefit 7 generations into the future. And I think bringing the United States back to New York City and doing what I've just talked about would fulfill that. Thank you very much.
Thank you to this panel. Thank you for your testimony. Oh, Councilmember Brewer.
I just want to say thank you to the panel and to say that I want to understand how in the world did the county end up in the leadership in terms of ownership? Can somebody explain that to me? I'm obviously very supportive. We'd love to have it here. Your advocacy has been phenomenal. I know Cynthia Hornig from my office has been working with you, but how did they end up with this ownership, I guess?
So, Councilmember Brewer, the SS United States Conservancy is a nonprofit organization which purchased the ship through a grant from a gentleman named Jerry Lenfest. The Conservancy owned the vessel for a number of years, and at the end of the day, because a development deal did not emerge, either here in New York or in other cities that were looked at, the Conservancy unfortunately was forced to sell the ship. It could have either gone to scrap immediately or it could have been reefed. They chose the option of reefing, and Okaloosa County in Florida is the entity that purchased the ship and is now planning to reef it. We think this is a Hail Mary pass to see if we can do something else with it that will create jobs and honor the history and culture of the ship.
We're obviously very supportive. Thank you very much.
Well, I support it, and I support christening it the SS Gale Brewer.
The U.S. is much better. Thank you.
John Quadrosi Jr., Alida Camp, Lawrence Maslon, Melissa West, Christopher Leon Johnson. Mr. Quadrosi, do you want to go first? Yep. Sure.
John Quadrosi. I am here speaking on behalf of the resolution for the SS United States. I guess I didn't fit on that panel. I don't know if anyone else is here for that. I hope you're all here for the ship, but maybe not. Anyway, my position is very much aligned with all of the gentlemen that are here, and I will not speak of all the potential uses and so forth for the ship, but I'm going to speak on behalf of the terminal that many of them spoke about. So we have a facility in Brooklyn, Gowanus Bay Terminal. It's actually a historic terminal. It was mentioned here by one of the gentlemen. It was part of the Erie Canal. So this was at the time in 1920 when they were revitalizing the canal as the State Barge Canal. This facility was developed. So the facility has a historic content, and we thought that would be of significance for the SS United States. being its importance to the United States. It is a facility that has a berth of 1,300 feet. This is a formal berth of the Normandy. So I'm going to speak a little about the Normandy in a second. For example, the SS United States is 990 feet long. This berth is 1,300 feet long. The Normandy is just over 1,000 feet as well when it was docked there. So I'm a person that has been on the waterfront for some 40 years in Brooklyn, in my early 20s, unloading heavy bulk cargoes and so forth and the like in the industrial segment. I have a vessel of my own that I have operated on the waterfront, so I'm very familiar with what's involved with ships and ship handling and maintaining them and so forth. The task of refurbishing the United States, although an expensive one, is not difficult to people that are in the industry. I think there's somebody here in the back from GM Shipyard, which you may know, in the Brooklyn Navy Yard.
Thank you.
A very significant facility. But some of the work that's been done on the SS United States, like removing its stacks and its tower, is something that's customary. It's not the destruction necessarily of the ship.
Thank you. We have to keep going, but if you want to submit
I'm sorry?
in writing, the time is up, but we're gonna,
okay.
if there's anything further, please submit it in writing, and we'd love to read it. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
We're gonna keep going down the panel this way. Yes.
All right. Yeah, hello. My name is Christopher Leon Johnson on the record. I'm here to show support for both Rita Joseph's resolutions for Simicama Road Day and Haitian Compa Day.
Casa, you're in.
Starting time.
Oh, is this on? Am I on?
Yes.
Are we just going over our testimonies for or what we're representing, right?
Yes, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm here for the support the coalition on the Save the SS United States. I've been with this organization for quite a while, and I've been here in support to them, and hopefully we can continue our work to help preserve American history. I did posted a testimony about its effects on the Gulf of Mexico's water, which is it has all these lead paints and all these zinc chromites that if they do sink the ship, all those hazard and all those materials could pollute the water in a way to where, people who go out there to go collect some fish or to consume aquatic life, they could be, consuming toxic waste that can potentially risk them getting cancers and all types of blood clots, like just bad stuff. And I did post that for my testimony, so I just want to make that clear in support to the coalition. And yeah, I think that is all that I want to say.
Thank you. Calling Shireen.